Hi, are you an investor or a landlord? At the end of this video, hopefully you will be able to understand what an investor is and what a landlord is. And you can hopefully be able to decide which category you fall in, either an investor or a landlord. My name is David Adewale. I'm one of the directors of Elsewhere Properties Limited. Elsewhere Properties Limited is a property investment company in the UK. We invest in property ourselves, and we also work with other investors that are looking to either achieve their long-term investment goals via property, or sometimes we have investors that are looking at just focusing more on short-term return on their investments. So we also work with landlords that have got properties portfolios, either looking to sell them, retire, or maybe they need help with the properties as well. We also work with first-time buyers, people that are looking to get on the property ladder for the first time. We work with them as well. And also properties, we also provide educations. I'm talking about property investment educations, just anything that is going to help you through the journey of your property investment. Now, the reason why I'm doing the video is actually to help to see the differences between you as an investor or you being a landlord. I feel this is quite important to understand the differences between a property investor or any investor at all, and also someone that is a landlord. I mean, we've had people come to us and say, "I want to invest in property," and then when we actually go through the whole process of helping them to source for properties or find property deals that will help them to achieve their goals, and then later on we find out that they start want to get too involved in it. So actually, that's fine. It's not a problem. The only thing is just that it's always good to separate both and define why you're actually going into investment in property and what kind of person you're actually going to be when you actually eventually get that property, which is why I want to do this video right here. With Ellsworth, what we do is when we have different type of investors, we have investors that have huge amount of cash, and those are kind of investors that really they can afford to buy the property that want to invest in, and that's it. They just all want to look at their return on investment. They can afford it. We also have other investors, which is more common. Where we have some people that have got money that want to invest in properties, or just do any investment that they want to invest into, but then they will need other support in terms of like mortgage, mortgage. So if you got 50, you have a house which is worth £200,000, and you've only got raised £50,000, then obviously you need help, which is the lender to loan you the other part of it. That's another kind of investors. We also have investors that what they do is that they have some money already to invest in property, and they will need mortgage, which is the second category as well. But the thing is that they're actually not credible in terms of like either their credit rating, or they had some issues with their credit in the past, which could prevent them from taking advantage of investment. So we have such investors as well. So we have deals that could be tailored towards such investors as well. And then we also have the last category will be investors, which is well more of like general people. They just say, I don't have enough money. I want to invest in property. I want to invest in property, but I feel this is not enough money for me to invest in property. Say, for example, they've got £10,000, and they say, "Oh, well, you can't buy property for that." That's actually not true. There are things that there are deals that are targeted towards such individual as well that can help them either with joint venture with yourself, or we can look at a different strategy that will help them. So there is always something for everyone, regardless of whatever amount you have to invest. So now we've got different investors. The difference between an investor and a landlord in property. Difference between investor and landlord. Investors are not necessarily owner. So when I said the category or the last category, which is £10,000, for example, right? If you have £10,000 and you want to invest in property, let's say in London, obviously you can't actually find any property for £10,000 in London, but you can invest that money into property in London. So you don't own it. That's a difference there. So an investor can actually use their money, their capital to invest, and they get returns at the back of that at the end of the day, without actually owning an asset fully. They can actually maybe join own it. Maybe they can own 20% or 2% of something like that. That's an investor. All right, so allocation of capital. I've written allocation of capital with expectation of a future financial return or a gain. That's an investor. That falls into category of an investor. So you don't have to own the property outright. You can invest into it, and you get returns from that as well. Also, investors are more of like wealth builders, right? Wealth builders in sense that they don't necessarily have to, like I said, you don't have to own whatever it is you're actually investing into property in this scenario right now. But you build wealth over a period of time, because whatever money you have, you're not waiting to put it in a place where it's not going to generate income or a return. So because you are actually making that money to work, it will generate obviously in investment into things that you know that will get return on investment. When you invest them, you generate wealth back that way, because what happens is you either get generating cash flow, passive income from it, or you get a return, and that's how wealth build. Over the years, you see that if you put £10,000 as an investor rather, before you know it, you could generate income if you actually invest the money right? Um, Investors usually have visions, and the reason why I say they have vision is because, and it doesn't mean landlords doesn't have vision as well. Don't get me wrong, but it with investors, they have what they want to achieve and what they want when they want to come out of it. What I'm actually looking at, I've got £10,000. I want this in the next 5, 10 years or something like that. We at Elsewhere Properties, we work with investors based on their goals. Even if they don't have goals, we encourage them to have goals, to have a vision of what they're trying to achieve, to dream. All right. Investors generally want to build a lifestyle where I've got this money. I want this money to work for me while I go do something else. Or maybe I can be able to have time for me to do something else. So it goes to what we call about money is working for investors. Money works for investors, right? Investors can also be time rich, because you're not the person actually doing the work, right? That's the difference between an investor and a landlord. You are not doing the work. Your money is doing the work for you. That's what an investor would do. Money is working for you, right? You have a healthier life at the end of the day, because it's not, you don't have to, you can invest your money without you being involved in it. That's an investor. Now, let's now go to who a landlord is. A landlord usually will be an owner of a property, right? Own apartment, own house, own land, whatever it is, own real estate, and then lease it out to get returns on it. The issue with landlord is, I won't say issue basically. It all depends, anyways. All depends. But just this video is not to just say, your landlord is a bad person, investor is better, or whatever it is. It's just to more of like, so that you can see, have a clear picture of where you fall in, and then also help you to know, to make a decision on where you want to stick, you want to stay, or what category you want to make sure that you want to head towards, if you're already a landlord or if you're an investor as well. That's what these videos are trying to achieve. So landlords are generally owner of real estate, right? And they're renting it out. They get rental from it and also capital from it as well. Returns on equity once those related, if they decide to sell. If you find yourself, right, running a day to day, running your working day to day, landlords generally do the day to day running of the property that they own, right? If you find yourself running the day-to-day, i.e. things like you are responsible for paying the bills, responsible for maintenance, responsible for making sure that you get book all the regulatory requirements, that like gas certificates, you have to book them, you have to then you are a landlord. You are not an investor, because now you are doing a job. Investor, the money works for investor. For landlord, they are the one working for the money. All right, landlord, when you find yourself working for the money, you are not really an investor. I would say you are a landlord. You are actually doing the job, right? You are doing it yourself. You are now an investor. So how does an investor that own properties, how do they do it? They don't actually run it themselves. They leverage their time by letting agents to do that for themselves, right? You can see the difference. So because the thing is, with an investor is focusing on, I want my time. I've got this money. I don't mind paying you 10% plus VAT, which is what generally letting agents will charge, so that I can have my time. But as a landlord, when you start thinking about, I want to save money, I'm going to do it myself. I get the tenants, I do the checks, I do the bills. When there's regulations that actually work, because in UK we have regulations that keep coming all the time. You have to keep on top of that. You are a landlord. You're actually doing the job. You are not really an investor. All right. So basically, you are working for money. Money is not working for you. And then obviously you will be time poor, which means that even when you go on holiday, you are kind of thinking, hopefully my tenant will not give me a call now. Maybe the boiler is broken, the door handle is broken, there is something I need, the roof is leaking. So if you have to be worrying about things like that, you are actually a landlord, right? And we don't encourage people to do a landlord. Why would I do it? I would rather just pay somebody to go through all that stress while I'm actually enjoying my wealth. This is why an investor is different. An investor have a better lifestyle, because they can go and their money is working for them. Right? I'm asleep, I can wake up, and I know that money is going to my account based on my due diligence I've actually done before I move into the investment. And I know that guaranteed I'm going to be getting this amount of money. I can go on holiday, spend my money, do my time and everything. That's what an investor is. It's looking about a vision. He wants to create a lifestyle, while a landlord is having like a career, a job kind of person. You go on holiday, you're worrying about your 10 properties, your 5 properties, your even 1 property, how the tenants have been doing things, are they going to be paying this month? So you start worrying about that. All right, there's a lot of stress involved in being a landlord. But then in an investor, and as an investor, you don't need to worry about it. I mean, all you just want to be thinking about is, my investment is going to return this amount of money on a monthly basis. In the worst case scenario, this is what I'm going to get. If it's a good day, this is what I'm going to get. So that's the difference between an investor and a landlord. The reason why I did is just to clear that out there, to just people to understand that when you find yourself doing some work, you can now describe whether I'm a landlord or an investor. And we actually encourage people to we work in investor, we work in landlord as well. And the reason I'm saying that is because we do have people, landlords get tired because they are doing all this and they get exhausted. We have landlords that have got portfolios, but I'm talking about 100 properties, 80 properties, 120 properties. They've been managing it on their lives and they want to retire. So they say, get this off my hands. I want to make, so they are waiting until they retire before they can start living the life. Wow, an investor can start living the life right now. Why? Because their money is working for them. So we get those property of those landlords and we sell them to investors and manage it for them, or help them to get a management company to invest for them while they can live the life they want to live. That is what that's the difference between a landlord and an investor. I hope this video has been helpful. All right. If you need to reach out to us, either you are a landlord and you want to move away from being a landlord and to become an investor, or you want to have a lifestyle. Maybe you have built portfolios of property over these years and you want us to work with you on that. We've got investors that we can share your property with, are waiting to take the property of you and then you can live the life you want to live, either retire or whatever you. And if you're an investor as well, you want to invest in properties, we also have landlords property that landlords have actually given us properties that we're helping them to sell and or operate with that as well. So reach out to us on elsewordproperties.co.uk. That's www.elsewordproperties.co.uk. Just drop us a message there, or you can go on Facebook. We're on our Facebook page as well. Just type Elseword Properties there. We are there on Facebook. Just send us a message. We'll come back to you on your request, or your comments, or your questions. The same thing as well. If you go on LinkedIn, we're also on LinkedIn as well. Elseword Properties. Just tap it on LinkedIn and just put a message right there. We'll reach out to you there. Thank you very much for watching. My name is David Adewale from Elseword Properties. Until next time, have a great day.